That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about automobiles and what we like, what we don't like, stuff going on. I don't know, did we decide, are you ranting today or no?
I can always rant. I'm just worried about it actually being long enough.
All right, well, we'll do one next time.
I've got a rant, but it might just fizzle out towards the end. It's not the biggest of rants.
Yeah.
I like how it's gone from PowerPoints to just a rant now as well.
Well, I actually, the last time I threw one in there, I did mention that it's PowerPoints, the rant.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something to rant about.
Now you're sounding like Leroy. There's always something to do.
Yeah. What is it? Family Guy? What grinds my gears?
I think that is Family Guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something that really, you know. You saw me on Thursday at my wit's end. And then not long after that, Andrew came in.
Well, he did. He said the Tahoe was... So we're going to talk about his Tahoe because...
Oh, that was the second visit.
Oh.
The first visit was not related.
Oh, just came by to say hello.
It was a sort of a semi-social, and nothing to do with the semi, just a social call. Yeah. And then we had a chat about how things were going business-wise.
Yeah.
And obviously I can't afford Andrew's expertise.
I can't afford his expertise either.
And I don't think he can afford the time actually to throw at a place like ours at the minute. Those guys are super busy, but yeah, you guys were sort of in and out within sort of, you only
just missed each
other really.
Dang.
And then DJ was like, James looked different. I was like, he didn't have a shirt on. Oh, you weren't topless.
I wasn't topless, yeah.
You had,
we
didn't have a shirt on.
In our family, there's a name for that. We call that sporting a Brock.
Ah, okay.
Brock being my stepfather.
Right.
And he'll often walk around without his shirt on, a little bit of a boiler, and he'll have his shirt on his shoulder and he'll be whistling. We call that sporting a Brock. But no, I was not sporting a Brock.
No, you just had like...
I was wearing a black T-shirt.
Yeah, just a normal, that's right, black, whatever, T-shirt, normal. And it's like it'd be like the Incredible Hulk, like an alter ego.
It is.
James in sort of normal clothes, and James in James's normal clothes.
My wife always, we were out the other day doing some grocery shopping. I was wearing just a single colored T-shirt and had a hat. And she goes, I couldn't find you. It's like, you're standing right beside me and I couldn't see you.
Yeah,
it's like,
this guy.
Exactly what she was saying. So I had no clue who it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 1980s, early 1990s wrestling gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't actually recognise the person when they're not in full gimmick.
Yeah.
Which is good for you, right?
Yeah, it works really well because then people say, I think I know you. It's like, no, you don't.
Walking around university all day and then, you can just stealth around the malls, especially now with the masks.
Yeah, put the mask on, a hat on, no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Like, not a clue. So they say, I think you look familiar, but no.
Oh man, have you heard some of these, like, not to be political, but some of these like Yahoo people that have been up in arms about, mask wearing and how, what's the point of the vaccine then if we're not, why do we still have to wear masks?
Oh, come on.
I know. Where's people getting the time for that?
It's like, keep the mask on.
Just flooding all of these like committees and hearings of where they're supposed to be talking about things that can benefit people. Yeah. It's mask.
Germany, UK, America, Canada, who knows? Well, Australia and New Zealand, they're not wearing masks. They've taken them off because they don't let anyone in.
They did a good job. They were strict.
Yeah. But, you get vaccinated, and I've known people who've got COVID who've been vaccinated. Well, that's the point. The point is, you get vaccinated so that you don't end up intubated in an ICU.
Exactly.
That's why you're getting vaccinated.
If you suffered with it, having had the first or second dose, you were likely to have been really ill with it had you not had that.
Exactly. So I know people, and the first thing they say is, I got COVID and it was really bad. I said, did you end up in the hospital? No. Then it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
And at least now that you've had COVID and the vaccine,
you're good to go.
There's a good chance you're not getting it again.
And don't forget, there's a lot of people that can't be vaccinated for genuine. Dr. Jenner could probably wax on about that. Like there's people that genuinely can't have it, allergies, other ongoing health treatments.
Yeah, you forget about all those folks.
And it is what it is. Saudi announced yesterday that anti-vaxxers can't do anything in public.
That's it.
You can't do anything. Stay in your house and put a red cross on your door like
Exactly.
Fair play. No
exactly.
problem. If there's a choice to have it or not, then I just think just
get it.
A bit.
Just do it.
Needs of the many.
Yeah.
over the needs of the few, I think. But hey, people that have got time to waste on that sort of stuff, that really grinds my gears.
There we go.
No, it's, yeah, back to it. I mean, you came in on Thursday, and I was like, it's always like, it's good to see you, good to see Andrew.
Yeah.
Needed the 5 minutes of just not having sweat in my eyes.
I think it's, you know what it is, and I've been talking a lot about this. In fact, I ranted a little bit on Instagram yesterday. I put up a little post about just being nice. And the first thing I do is I get a lot of messages from people, "Are you okay, dude?" I said, "No, you know what? I'm fine. Yeah. This is my outlet because I've interacted with some people, and their interaction in an online manner and their interaction in a real manner or a human manner is different. And there's an illusion, and then there's the reality. And the reality is they're just not nice. And I think, and I've said this over and over and over again. So if anyone's listening to a series of podcasts, it's come up because it's on my mind. It's just, with everything that's gone on in the last 18 months, just be nice to each other. Let's be nice people.
Just be cool.
And there's no ulterior motives. It's just, give someone a call. You're out. I was out your way, and honestly, the traffic can be pretty brutal. But I thought, I'm just gonna drop in and say hello, even if it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, and to be fair, I had bailed on you as well, hadn't I?
Like that was a few hours
before.
But that was okay.
Recording, and I bailed on you, so it was an even bigger effort from your side. But it was just, it's one of those things where
people aren't doing that. And I don't find people just trying to be, and that was my rant, is just be nice. Just be nice, do a nice thing once in a while.
A lot of people have had to communicate through these things though, recently.
Everyone's on, yeah.
Like when it's, you're only using, okay, you can see people on a video call and they're okay and we can get by and we can, and there's a lot of untapped potential with that. We talked about the whole education side of it, but it's not the same, especially in a social situation. I mean, there's an example which sort of relates to what we used to do with cars. So working at VW, obviously, let's take any car as an example. Let's take a Golf. Everyone knows a Golf. There was obviously on a certain vehicle of certain range, there was obviously common faults that we would see all the time. But we could never say to a customer, "Oh, it'll be that because it's common." "Oh, I don't know, I've not seen that before." That's a lie.
Yeah.
But we're towing the brand line and we're doing what we're supposed to do, and we try not to speculate and give them any false answers before we've checked it. And that's cool. And you've got to, that's justifiable in the fact that you have to represent the brand you're working for, and you also have to make sure the customer isn't given anything that's not accurate from the start. So what we do behind the scenes is fine, but the customer has to see it all organised and as it is. Now, that's basically two-faced. We're doing two things. And you see it now with communication online where, so there's a lot of people that will be super, super narky, like really awful online to somebody behind a keyboard thinking I'm safe here. Nobody's going to punch me through the screen. And then in public, they're just like the nicest doormat ever.
Yeah, go figure that one.
Yeah, but now you see it the opposite. So obviously, a lot of people going for jobs in education or public service or something like that, they might get vetted. And I'd imagine there's companies that make money, and Andrew probably knows about this, just to stalk and profile you from your online presence. If any of those companies went through mine 20 years ago, when I was like 15, and I don't even know if I was on any social media then, but from that point onwards to about, being 2021, I would have been putting ridiculous things on there that I can't even remember. Right. But people do the opposite now. So I know people that I'll see them post on Facebook or I'll see them post on Instagram that they're offended or they're standing up for a cause or they're doing something. And then I speak to them in person and think, you're completely the opposite of what you're putting on online, but on the opposite way around you'd expect it. So online they're trying to be all proper professional and, oh, that's offensive, and you can't put that meme up there, and you can't say that about these people, and you can't do that, it's not funny. And I'm thinking, you're only doing that because, you're thinking, well, if I get vetted online, I need to be seen as... And it's like, forget it. Just be you. Like, you'll just do you. Don't try and be the next somebody. Try and be the first you. You know, I just don't. And you see that so much, and it happens all the time. People aren't genuine, and it goes both ways. They're either not genuine in a way that they go online and be crazy antagonistic, or they go online and be crazy social justice.
Yeah.
And there's never really any in between. There's never normally the person who's just like boring and normal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So back to the shop for a minute.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. I mean, I have no sympathy for anyone whose air conditioning's gone out now. Like, it must have been going for a while, condensers and stuff.
Yeah. One of the bigger problems with AC leaks tending to happen in the summer is because they're working. AC's working as hard as it's working. Okay,
Yeah.
There's higher loads on it when it's so much hotter outside, and it's an automatic system, so it's constantly checking the temperatures in the cabin and stuff. But not really anything that you can say, oh, it's failed because of the heat, and if it had stayed cool, it wouldn't have. That's not true. One of the reasons that we end up with massive failures in the summer is the fact that AC leaks that occur on the low pressure side, the ambient pressure of gas, of the refrigerant gas that's in an AC system, obviously dramatically increases with temperature. So when a car's sat out in the sun and it's 50 degrees, the pressure on the AC system can be nearly 7 or 8 bar.
Really?
Which is, of course, if there's a small leak, it's getting forced out quite quickly.
Yeah.
So then that accelerates the process of the leak. And if it's on the low pressure side when the system's running, it's down at sort of 2 bar.
All right.
So it's not leaking that fast. But when it's not running, it's sat in the sun. That's one of the issues that you have. And then also don't forget, until about 6 weeks ago, you could probably, if you went to work early enough and finished late enough, which a lot of us do, probably turn the AC off on the way, and don't have it on the way home either.
Yeah.
So you'd have a situation there where you're not actually even checking the AC.
Right.
So
people just got caught out.
Yeah, you just end up caught out, and it's unfortunate. One of the reasons that
AC's expensive as well, so by the time you start repairing it, it's almost never, a 50 dirham job.
Yeah, you end up with expensive components.
Yeah.
Or expensive labour charges.
Yeah.
Because of the way the components are fitted, and there's nothing really in between.
And it's the time of year where you need your AC.
Yeah, you've got no choice. You can't drive. You physically cannot drive. And if your AC stops working, by the way, just open the windows and turn the blower off.
Yeah.
Because you're doing yourself no favours with the blower on. It's just blowing hot air. Yeah. It's getting increasingly hotter because it's blowing over the engine first. Yeah. So windows open and blower off, and just do yourself a favour that way. But there's not. I honestly can't think of anything worse than being in a car without AC when it comes to driving to work in the morning or picking the kids up from school. I mean, we had a lady in yesterday. She first came to us because she won a quiz at a bar on the pond. So they do a quiz night, and we offer a free service as a quiz prize. We had 4 or 5 winners over the time they've been doing it, and this lady came in and she rang me yesterday. So, thanks for doing the service a few weeks ago. My AC stopped working, and my little girl is in the car with me a lot now. So I can't be without the AC. I can manage, but she can't. Now, what I want to say to these people is, you can't manage, because when you're sweating, all you can think about is getting out of the car, and all you can think about is getting to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Like
you start getting surly on the road.
Well, exactly. You get really erratic. You've got the windows down, because I've just said you can't have hot air blowing onto you. You've got the windows down, which is a distraction in the fact that it's noisy. If you're used to having the windows up, if you've got windows at all, James. But if you've got the windows up usually, then you've got them down, and you're driving through Al-Quoz, it's really busy, or you can't drive with the windows all the way down on the Sheikh Zayed at 110 kilometres an hour. You can't do that. So it's not safe to do it for a long period of time. And there's a lot to think about. How I know when I'm at work, when I'm dehydrated, because I get fuzzy, I get a headache, I can't think straight, I get annoyed by the slightest thing. I'll be doing a job which is frustrating me because it's awkward, or I'm burning my hands, or the part's wrong, or I can't actually quite get in where I want to get in, and I've got to take 25 parts off to get to the one I want, or something like that. That's the annoying part of it. And then I get dehydrated, and then somebody will come and ask me something. Or I might get a message from a customer, and it's just like I blow up. And that's not the problem. The problem is that I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of studies done about sleeplessness, about people being tired and driving, people being under the influence and driving. I'm not sure there's any about being dehydrated. And it's a genuine issue here. It doesn't take long to drive. I drive a car with AC from Alcoos to where we live, and it's about 30 to 45 minutes depending on traffic most days. When I put a plastic seat in, if I'm particularly dirty, and I put a plastic seat cover on the seat, even with the AC, my back is wet through when I get home, and I honestly it's disgusting, but I can wring my shorts out, it's a fact. That's not great. You're losing that liquid, and you don't always get time to replenish it. And if you've got no AC in the car, it's not working quite how it should. You very, very easily on a long drive, you get dehydrated quite easily. And add to the fact that, you know, the sun's blazing onto the car.
Yeah.
It's only going to get hotter. Then you're going to get back in that car after it's probably been parked in the sun, and it's not going to cool down ever. AC is critical, and I think it genuinely is. People will always fix their AC.
Yeah.
Because what choice do you have? You physically can't drive a car without it. It's 50 degrees outside already, and we're not in June.
Yeah.
So, a lane or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden, people who were usually going to be sat with their car over July, August, not doing anything, they're going to do 10,000 kilometers.
Yeah. You know, and I think these are the things that I've sort of included in my mind. I was driving the other day, and I'm going, and I've talked about tires, and I'm going, you know, I think I got some tire wear. And I'm trying to remember, when did I actually change these tires last? And I'm going, it's not last year, not the entire year I didn't. We're now working into second year. I'm going, I think, you know, and I haven't gotten down to take a look at the tread. I mean, I noticed there's no cracks or anything, but I think I think I'm due for a tire change.
Yeah.
It's at least 2 years, maybe 2.5. So it's about 3 years, that's about right.
The weird thing is there, that what's compounded it is the fact that they weren't used for so long.
No.
They were sat.
Yeah, which they still age and stuff still goes wrong. It's like that, and I was also thinking brakes, and I've noticed, you know, my brakes are working, they're working okay, but after a while you start to notice minor changes and things, and I'm thinking, you know what, it's almost time to get the brakes looked at.
Yeah.
And as it's getting warmer, especially when it gets warmer, that's when I really start to notice it, because everything heats up a little bit, and the stop time is reduced a bit because everything's warm.
Yeah. There's most modern cars now, we don't have to worry about things like brake fade.
Yeah.
From excessive temperatures getting into the brake oil, but you know, anyone with anything sort of pre-60s or 70s or maybe even pre-80s, when it comes to pre-90s for an American car, the brake fade's a problem. And hot brakes, they need to be to a temperature to work effectively, but then it's not much of a window before they become too hot. Doesn't take long. You know, you could try that yourself. I obviously don't advise it or recommend it, but you could drive your car and really hammer on the brakes, and then do that 5 or 6 times in a short space of time without any time to cool down in between, and you'll notice by the 4th or 5th time the brake distance actually would increase, because the heat would be too hot. You start to glaze the brake pad, and you just don't get the same effect. But you know, that again, it's a solid metal disc. If you've got alloy wheels and then you've got a solid metal steel brake disc, and the sun's been baking it for an hour, I think you can't touch it. You just can't. You can't touch that thing. It's that hot. You know, and then you're getting in and trying to stop a 2-ton car with friction. Don't forget, that's basically with friction. You stop in the car. That thing's going to get hot real fast, and we get a lot of problems with brake judder in the summer. With the heat, we get lots of trouble with brake judder in the heat. The brakes get so hot and they glaze, and then we get material transfer as they cool down at different rates, and it becomes a huge issue. And the last thing you want is to press the brake and the car start to shake, because that's not necessarily a nice experience, especially if you've never had that experience before, or if you're not necessarily technically minded as to how a car's working. It can be quite alarming
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that temperature affect us, and if we were to look at it properly, I think there's probably 15, 20 things that we get in the summer, much more than we get the rest of the year. The summer's so extreme.
Yeah.
The rest of the year is kind of not. It's just, we get a month of it being quite cold by our standards, and then the summer's just full ball crazy. So it's good.
Yeah. I'm really interested in this F-150, the all-electric Ford F-150. I think it's a bold move on Ford's part. I mean, maybe not so bold. I mean, that's the #1 selling pickup truck in North America, Canada, and the U.S. $100 deposit gets you in line for the all-electric, the F-150 Lightning pickup. You know, they're talking 450 kilometers, maybe a little bit more between charges.
Which is good on a pickup.
Yeah, if you're using it on a farm, or if you're just like having a pickup, 450K. You know,
Let's be honest. Most people that get it are just driving the kids to school.
Exactly. They're on a bike in the back. They're heading to the football practice out at the park.
Yeah.
They're looking cool in the Ford F-150. They're not loading up bales of hay. They might want to pretend they are.
You know what? Fair play to Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really like the look of that Mackie Mustang thing.
Yeah, what is going on with that? That's not a Mustang.
But they are.
That's not a Mustang, that thing that they've created.
They understand that. No, it's not, and I'm interested. I don't think he's done anything or released anything with it yet, but I'm sure Shazad was playing around with one at an event a few days ago that I saw on his socials. So I'll be having a look on Brown Car Guy for that, just to see what he thinks of it. But they've done what? I mean, did the electric Hummer ever come out?
Yeah.
Like, again, fair play. Like, a Hummer's not for me, but people like them, and they're electric. They want both, so have them. Like, VW, they did a GTE a while ago and then stopped taking orders, but all of their electric vehicles are unique electric vehicles. They've not done an electric Beetle. Why?
Why? I don't know.
Why? And if I was at Citroën, I'd be doing an electric 2CV. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because they'll sell in the shed loads.
Yeah.
Electric Fiat 500s. Don't like them either, but they'll sell because people want them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it makes so much sense to do that. Why? I really don't.
I thought Ford's onto something, and dang.
I do. I agree. I think that's a good move doing the F-150. It looks
like an F-150.
I don't know why electric cars have to be covered in lights. That makes no sense to me.
I saw one yesterday.
To save the electricity.
I know. Maybe it's because I don't know. They burn. They're using the LEDs that use so much less current. I don't know.
Yeah, but the main battery, as I understand it, the main battery, there's still a 12-volt system. So
Okay.
There's still a 12-volt battery, and normal, like you would have on a car to start the engine.
All right.
So there's a 12-volt battery that's then trickle charged by the main battery. So all the lights and everything would still.
It's all
be
coming
12
off the 12 volts.
But it's still using power from the main battery through that.
Yeah,
And then I don't know. It's just covered in lights. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's weird. I did see a fairly new vehicle that had LED lighting, but half of it wasn't working the other day, and I thought, yeah, that's not a cheap fix. and it really made the vehicle look awful. So it was using daytime running lights, and half of them weren't on.
Yeah.
And you just kind of look at it going, what's going on with that thing?
Yeah. I mean, I know these things, LEDs don't use much power, but still.
Yeah. When they go, they go.
Yeah.
Then you got to trace where it is. Is it just the LEDs are blown?
They're always concealed units as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you got to remove half the vehicle to get at it. So I just think it's pretty interesting. We'll see where it's all going. And it made me think, what happened to Elon Musk and his pickup? He had that truck, and then there's no talk of it anymore.
I don't know. There's so much.
Maybe he just wanted an F-150, so that's why he got his out there. He's pushing people.
Yeah.
And
to make one. Yeah. All he wants is an electric camper van.
Yeah.
Like the old 60s bus, and an F-150. So the F-150's there, and now once he gets the camper van, he'll put them on his rocket and go to Mars.
The Mars thing. The Chinese are down there. They've landed a rover on Mars too. So it's going to be rover gridlock on Mars at some point.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how close they are to each other. Not close, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a big place, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'd imagine there's.
I just don't get it. I don't want to be the naysayer, and I'm sure we want to do interstellar travel. I get it. I get that. But we don't know what's going on the dark side of the moon.
We don't know what's going on with this COVID thing.
We don't know what's going on in the oceans, people.
Yeah, the oceans. You know, like 2% of the ocean floor map. Yeah.
Let's spend a little more money getting all the plastics out of that water, and we'll worry about Mars a little later. I don't want to be the naysayer here, but
yeah, I don't know exactly what to think of Mars exploration, because I'm not smart enough to know exactly what they're doing. But I guess what worries me is there's life here, there's bacterial life here, we're going to bring some of that back.
Yeah. COVID's a problem?
Yeah.
Come on, you haven't watched Armageddon?
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Yeah, nobody's seen Armageddon. Yeah.
And then we want to find extraterrestrial life. Terminator versus Predator. Have you seen that movie? No, we don't want to invite those people here.
Going to Mars, unless they found like Schwarzenegger on there with a load of like weird characters with weird body parts and extra bits, it wasn't really worth it, was it?
Yeah.
A bit of bacteria that's probably going to end the planet. Yeah. Great.
Nice. Yeah, nice. But and to all the astronomy folks out there who are watching and listening, it's like, no offense, I just think we could do a little bit more at home, and it's
yeah, I know the things that will come from it will be obviously much more than we could ever imagine, and I'm sure it'll benefit us in some way here.
Maybe
down the line, but it'd just be nice if we could have, virus mutating labs, just people washing their hands.
Yeah.
And then
just wash your hands. I saw it the other day. Someone comes out of the washroom. You're not washing your hands, dude?
Yeah, you need to do the same in the gym as well.
Oh. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. No.
Shocking.
A shocking one is Mazda's axing the CX-3 and the Mazda 6. And the Mazda 3, yeah.
I don't know about the Mazda 6 being that shocking.
The Mazda 6 was a nice
yeah, no,
rig.
but saloon cars are dead, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the problem. No one wants a saloon car.
Saloon cars are dead.
They're getting rid of them. They're getting rid of them both. I get the CX-3. I get that. Because they've updated the latest version, which looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
But the Mazda 6, I was really surprised that they were getting rid of that. And I mean, I get it, because like you said, saloon car is people don't want a sedan any longer. And it's a pretty full market. And Mazda's always, Mazda is a nice car, nicely engineered, good price point, but it's hard to compete against the Nissans and the Toyotas, who spend a lot more to advertise their vehicles. So.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. Mazda's never really broke out of it, though, have they? Mazda have never really broke out of just being one of the also brands. They've never. Can you really think of anything that Mazda have done that they're known for famously, apart from the RX stuff?
The RX-7, yeah, that was it. Nothing.
There's not really anything. You say Toyota, you say Corolla, Patrol. Land Cruiser.
I didn't like the Supra when I first saw it, but I've seen a few more Supras recently, and I'm kind of going, I kind of like the look of that Supra.
Yeah, well, we can have a conversation about that.
Makes me think of a Batmobile.
It makes me think of Z4.
Yeah, it does.
So say what you want about that. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a Supra. I'm glad I'm not a Toyota fanboy, because I'd be devastated.
Well, I would have liked the old. I thought I was really hoping it would be that square Supra. Just bring back the vintage one. No, it's not happening. No. They had to do whatever they had to do.
Well, yeah, you got to get it out there. Yeah. Obviously, the name mattered more than the actual substance.
It's not a Supra, really. The thing with Mazda that I find interesting about the Mazda 6 is I remember distinctly Mazda saying, we're going to hold on to the internal combustion engine as long as we can, and we're going to keep making sedans because everyone else is going to stop, and there's still going to be some demand, and we're going to get that demand till it fizzles out. But clearly they've realized that there's too much political angst to be making these polluters.
There's not, look, internal combustion engines have never been cleaner.
Yeah.
Never been cleaner. It's been some years now where there's a lot of greenhouse gas comes out of the back of vehicles compared to what goes into them. But in terms of the actual pollution that they were known for in years gone by, that doesn't really matter. It's a greenhouse gas issue now. Yeah. You're never going to avoid that unless you can get to 100% efficiency on the combustion of the hydrocarbon. You're always going to have carbon dioxide coming out the back. There's nothing you can do. But they are very clean and they are very efficient. But when you've got people like Ford doing an F150 in electric, and you've got all the VW ones that are winning car of the year, and they're doing 520 kilometres on the charge, and they're 40,000 quid now, and that's too much, way too much. And I don't understand, how does that price come down? Because surely the raw material price is going to increase. Absolutely. To a point, and then it's limited, and it's always in the country that's going to suffer from people grabbing, and then you've got to deal with the disposal. And so I don't know how the price comes down. I don't understand how the price can come down until, we've said it before. I say it to anyone that'll listen. It should be hydrogen. It should. I can't for the life of me understand why we've not gone to hydrogen. The existing infrastructure would work, and
that's the other thing. I don't understand why the folks over at Ford haven't said, you know what, we're going to come out with the electric version. We're also coming out with a hydrogen version. Yeah. And let's give this a go.
I don't know what's happened there. You'd like to think that engineers in car companies would be sat there saying, I don't care what's trendy. Yeah. I'm not interested.
They've got to have a prototype. Like they must have a prototype.
There was the Honda one, and then in California, which didn't sell, so they stopped it. And then there was I think there's only like a dozen or so hydrogen filling stations across the whole of the UK. Toyota sold a hydrogen car, I think it's called the Mirai or something like that. They sold a hydrogen car that you could buy in the UK, but with such a limited amount of hydrogen filling stations, what you're going to do. Yeah. But there's no battery. This is a massive problem. What do we do with the battery? Yeah. The size of a car, literally the footprint of a car. Like, what do we do with it?
We haven't thought about this. The disposal. I mean, we have enough trouble with people just disposing of their AAAs, AA's, and the batteries in phones. No one ever talks about that. You can't throw those away. People do, but you can't. Yeah. We can do with the ones in the cars. No one's talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's weird. I honestly don't know. People's eyes are open to it. Surely engineers that build and design cars are smart people. Yeah.
I think they're just saying we'll deal with it later.
Well, we've said before, obviously these kinds of decisions are often made by financial people, not engineers.
Yeah. We'll deal with it.
Who are doing their job. They're looking after the best interests of the company they represent. I understand, but I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, and to me, it's no different to. I can't see how how do you get out of it? How do you get out of the electric issue? Are you going to have a situation where, well, surely it's going to be mandated that you have to trade that vehicle in after its life. Yeah. You have to trade that vehicle in and see. Rave on.
We're getting the lights on and off. Yeah. I don't think we moved enough or something. They're going up and they're going down. They're going up and they're going down.
Somebody's trying to kick us
out. I think that's what it is. It's
Andrew's hacked into the smart lights.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
Just appeared outside, actually.
Could be. It could be. That's exactly what he's doing. Yeah. Maybe they're waiting to get in here, which might be.
I'm on a Zoom call in. That's not good lighting for me. It's not showing my best side. But yeah, I don't know what you do. Like, if this is me with a completely uneducated and totally unjustified opinion, but if it was me and I was legislator for somebody that wanted to look after their habitat and the place that they live, I would be saying, right, Volkswagen, you want to sell an electric car here, that's no problem, but there has to be a guarantee that when that car is done, you will take it back and you will recycle it. Yeah. There has to be. I think Volvo are doing something like that, aren't they?
Volvo's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, Swedish, like, they just, everyone wants to live in Scandinavian countries, everyone's happy, like. Yeah. so they look after themselves. But I think if you
pay for it though. Like, yeah, we're going to dispose of those vehicles, and there's taxes in Scandinavia and whatever that make this a viable thing. But you pay for it. You pay for it in some way, shape, or form. What's up, dude?
You finished?
No.
No.
That's the beauty of live podcasting, right?
Yeah, why not?
You're done. It's like, doesn't look like we're done.
Yeah, we just talk through the headphones and mic all the time, and I'm a bit self-conscious about my ears. I like to cover them up when I can.
You know, we are going to wrap though, but I do want to come back next time we get together and talk about the new Suzuki Swift.
Yeah.
Only because I've been seeing a couple of them, and I love their webpage. When you click on to the GLS model and I think it's GLS model, yeah, the GL and the GLX model, and it's just cool the way it shifts the image on the page.
It's another one they shouldn't have bothered. They should have just waited and done it all electric.
Well, that was the other thing. I mean, even the price points, 56,000 dirhams. So we're in the UAE for the 2-liter GLX, 48 for the GL. 1.2-liter engines. Why wouldn't they just make them? Why is Suzuki not jumping on this? I think they're thinking we're just going to milk this. We're going to milk this internal combustion engine cow until it has no more milk.
Yeah, but is it worth it?
Why? That's the thing. I think then you're going to maybe they're just going to pack up after and say, you know what, we're just going to go back to making jet skis and snowmobiles and motorcycles.
Yeah, well, in 20 years' time, when people have realised it's hydrogen all the way, the first people to get on that properly will be the ones. There'll be an equivalent of Tesla that will set the bar on that.
Well, I'm surprised that Elon Musk doesn't have another subsidiary. He's got the Tesla, and now he's going to have the hydrogen guy do it too.
Yeah.
Or a Tesla that's using hydrogen.
Look at the size of their plant now for making their cars and their batteries.
Yeah.
And they've gone into business with, I think, some sort of part of VW with the battery agreement, and
yeah.
because obviously they know more than us.
They know
more than us. They know how much there is out there to mine, and they know how much there is to make. And
it's craziness.